I will not tell you how we are going to win, but I tell you very clearly, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the worst case scenario in the 2027 elections is that no winner will emerge in the first round. We may have to go for runoff. And Bola Tinubu will not be on the ballot for the runoff because he will at best be third in the election. He has no pathway to win. I have done the maths, I have done the analysis. He will be at best third. But he can deceive himself. He may think, oh, you know, I have money. Because they have taken all the money in the country. I have INEC, I have the police, I have the army. You know what, President Tinubu, invite President Jonathan for a chat and ask him if he didn't have all this in 2015 and we got him out.
Is the case still the same?
That was Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State and the chieftain of the Social Democratic Party and the opposition coalition African Democratic Congress, saying what has been shaking the country right now, that Tinubu will come a distant third in the 2027 election as the worst case scenario, and that there is no pathway for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to become the president of Nigeria. In other words, what he said was that there will be a runoff election, and in that runoff election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not participate because somebody who will come a distant third cannot be allowed by the Constitution to participate in that runoff election. First of all, before we go into the show you that El-Rufai may not be faulted, that there may not be a winner in the first round of 2027 election. Let us look at what did the Constitution say about being elected the president of Nigeria. Now, according to the Constitution, to be declared winner of a presidential election in Nigeria, a candidate must meet two key constitutional requirements under Section 134(2) of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. These are that he must secure the highest number of votes cast nationwide, a plurality, not necessarily an absolute majority, okay? Obtain at least 25% of the votes cast in at least 2/3 of all 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Okay? 2/3 of 36 states. And that 2/3 of 36 states equals 24 states. Okay, you must have at least 24 states. Get 25% in 24 states. Therefore, a candidate must achieve at least 25% of the votes in a minimum of 24 states plus the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, or 25 states if the FCT is not met, depending on the judicial interpretation of the and on the plus. Okay, that's about the whether FCT should be regarded as a state or not. Now, this requirement ensures that the winner has broad geographic spread across the country. So for Tinubu to win in 2024, he must have majority of the votes cast. He must have gotten 25% in all the 24 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And if no candidate meets both requirements in the first round, the election proceeds to a modified two-round system. That's why El-Rufai is also right. two-round system as outlined in section 134, 3 to 5 of the Constitution. A second election runoff is held within 7 days between the candidates with the highest number of national votes and the candidates who receive 25% of votes in the highest number of states, typically the top 2 candidates overall. In the second round, the same requirements apply. The winner must also get at least win 25% in 24 states of the country and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Now, let us look at why El-Rufai is very sure that Tinubu will not participate in that election, that he will not be able to come second or first. For you to understand what El-Rufai is saying, El-Rufai is therefore projecting. What El-Rufai is projecting is that there will be 3 major candidates that will contest the election. Peter Obi will contest. Atiku Abubakar will contest. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will contest. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from Southwest. Atiku Abubakar is from Northeast. And Peter Obi is from Southeast. This election is going to take place as El-Rufai is projecting. He said he has looked at the numbers. Now let us look at the numbers that El-Rufai is talking about. He is projecting perhaps that Atiku may likely pick the ADC ticket. And if Atiku pick the ADC ticket, and he being the only major northern candidate in the ballot, that the whole north will rally around him. He will going to get substantial vote of the north, because one, the north is angry that Tinubu has marginalized them. The north is angry because Tinubu has impoverished the country. The hardship in Nigeria is biting hardest in the north, whether we like to believe it or not. So the north that didn't vote for him in the last election, northerners that didn't vote for him in the last election, there is nothing he has done to demand that, to make them to vote for him this time around. And those that voted for him are regretting that they voted for him. Now let us look at the number in the last election. Remember, in the last election, Atiku defeated Tinubu in the Northwest. Northwest has 7 states. The largest zone in Nigeria. Atiku defeated Tinubu there. Atiku won him in Katsina. Atiku won him in Kaduna. Atiku won him in Kebbi. And Atiku won him in Sokoto. Okay? The only place that Tinubu won Atiku in the Northwest in the last election, because Atiku won 4 states. Tinubu got Zamfara. And he got Jigawa. That's making state. It's making 6. The 7th state, Kano, was won by Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of the NPP, of the New Nigeria People's Party. So you can see that Atiku had upper hand in the Northwest in the last election. Now, with the anger in that zone now of what Tinubu has done, there is a likelihood that Atiku is going to take over those places. Where you will have contention is if Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso will contest again. That may also split part of the vote, but it wouldn't stop Atiku. There's a likelihood that Atiku can also clear that side this time around. Okay? Atiku, now you look at the northeast where Atiku come from. That Atiku didn't win the whole of the northeast. So they shared northeast. Tinubu got 3, that's APC got 3. Atiku got 3. Okay? Atiku won Atiku won Adamawa. Atiku won Gombe. Atiku won Taraba. Okay? The other ones went to the APC. I'm talking about Borno, Yobe, and one other state in that zone. So they shared it 3-3, that place. If that is to play out in the coming election, and Atiku is able to clear the whole of the northeast and win at least 7 states or 6 states in the northwest, you will discover that there will be no pathway for Tinubu to become president. Okay? Then the battleground state will be the North Central. Okay? What will North Central vote? Are they going to go for Tinubu or are they going to go against? That is where Peter Obi will also, that will be the battleground state. The North Central will be the battleground state. The Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nasarawa, that Peter Obi took. FCT that Peter Obi took the last time. Plateau that Peter Obi took the last time. Those and Benue, those will become the battleground state for the 3 of them. Now it is expected that Peter Obi is going to take the whole of the southeast and perhaps get the whole of the south-south. But if as a result of manipulation by some of these south-south governors that have defected, Peter Obi may share south-south with Tinubu. Now, if you look at that kind of arithmetic, you will now discover that Tinubu will be literally boxed into southwest. And you know one of the things that are happening that are showing that even Tinubu may be aware of this thing playing out. Look at the humongous number that is coming out from southwest under the continuous registration of voters. You can see the big numbers. They are now, INEC is now allocating to southwest. More people are coming out to be assumed registered voters. The idea is that to boost the vote number from southwest to counter what is going to be lost in the north. Would that be enough to give him the majority of vote cast? It is debatable. I doubt if this continual voters registration is going to give not southwest the vote that can make up the number that Tinubu is going to lose in the south, northeast, northwest. Okay, so when this play out the way Malam Nasiru is saying it, Tinubu will be literally restricted to southwest and then share a couple of votes and battle for votes in the south-south and in the north-central. These are going to be the battleground states that will eventually determine who will get the highest number of votes and who will get the second highest number of votes. But if you go by this analysis, you will discover that Tinubu has hurt even the people of South-South and Southeast. So likely, Tinubu is going to be rejected, both the South-South and Southeast. A projection that was done recently by this Malam Nasiru El-Rufai has shown that Tinubu has almost 94% unpopularity in most of the north and southeast. Even in the south, the south-south, he's not having up to 80% approval rate. So the man is finished by numbers, unless INEC will do a magic that is unprecedented. And that is where Malam Nasiru El-Rufai has come in there to say that Tinubu will be deceiving himself, that he has the INEC, he has the military, he has the police, he has everything, that he should go and ask Jonathan how they got rid of him. It will become an interesting study for Tinubu to undertake. Because when there is a will, there is a way. We know that the INEC is dancing to the tune of the government in power, from what most politicians have said. especially over his delay in registering political parties, his delay in analyzing whether Labour Party is for Nana Osman or is for Abure. All these are part of the shenanigan of trying to frustrate the opposition. But it is the Nigerian people that at the end of the day will determine. And the El-Rufai is saying that he has looked at the numbers, and I have followed him to look at the numbers from the last election, even though there were many of us who don't trust that last election because P2B said he got 10 million votes, and most Nigerians believe him, because if P2B didn't get 10 million votes, why then was there deliberate switching off of the transmission of the result under the guise of glitches? Because if P2B was losing, there wouldn't have been any need for that. So I believe P2B more than I believe INEC, to be frank on that. So when you look at what I have just described to you, what played out in the last election and what is happening today, because Tinubu has not won anybody's heart, whether in the north or in the south, but out of ethnic affinity. That's why we are leaving southwest for him in this analysis, and leaving southwest for him cannot make him president. So if this vote to go, as I'm projecting it, as El-Rufai is probably looking at it, it means that Tinubu will come in distant third, because he will be boxing to southwest, and P2B and Atiku Abubakar will have majority of the votes cast, and they, two of them, are likely to be the people that will contest, the candidates that will contest the runoff election that will take place, and Tinubu will not be part of it. That's my assessment, that indeed El-Rufai is right, that Tinubu is likely to come a distant third and will not participate in the runoff election, all things being equal. I don't know what to think about this, but whatever is your position on El-Rufai's projection, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.